G'day everyone, it's Taggy here. Thank you for joining me. We're going to have a little look at the Parade's DLC, and I did do a hack video showing you pretty much anything but building a parade. And in this one, I thought there's probably a lot of you who would like to see how it all works officially. So here is the parade, which is essentially a track ride. And this video is just going to be pretty casual. I'm just going to talk through the main features and functions to give you an idea of what to expect. And yeah, if you got any questions on how things might work or you want to know something, just let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. But the parade itself, it's like a station. You place it down and you can use this path track or regular track. So the path track includes parallel paths and you can turn those on, and these create some nice sidewalks. So I'm going to create a little main street down here, and yes, you can curve your track and you can even bank it, and you can raise it in the ground to create some interesting hills. So your parades will follow along. It's not just limited to flat straight lines, which I think is a really nice addition. And yeah, but for this little demo, I think we'll just keep it all pretty standard. And I'm just going to build a main street. So rather than building your main street with path and then placing it, which you can do, this is probably going to be the easier way, and you can create your parade track. And yeah, you have the option to complete the circuit, or we can finish with a station, an end station. So you can have a loop that goes around or have an end station. And this is really nice if you just want to keep it succinct and not use up lots of space in your park. And there we go. There is our template ready to roll. And I'm going to show you the train system. So under this tab here, trains, you can add connected trains. And you start with this default one. If I click on it, you can see that there are large floats and bridge floats. And the way a train works is a train will depart the station at an interval. So if you want to control that interval, you can set the time here. And that's really useful if you want to have them all coming out quickly or have a big pause between each train. The trains themselves can have multiple quantities. So they will actually have a little connector. So now we've got 2 rows. And you'll notice that they come with their own performer points. So you can place little guys alongside. And when the ride is then turned on, this whole train, I guess the terminology is a train or a series of floats that are connected, will come out as one. And what's nice is the little guests, entertainers rather, or staff, will walk at different paces. So you notice the guy here walked really slow around that corner and she sped up to keep up a nice uniform line. So that's all handled for you. So if I come back here, turn this off and come back to trains, we can now add another train and tailor it to our needs. So we might make it a single file large float, for example, and then that'll come out at a separate interval. So hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, we look at the other options here. So we can not just do trains, I can do a parade of performers, and you can make these groups and you can choose, okay, I want a row of 2, 3, or 4, and you can add as many rows as you like. So you can have 3 rows like so, and then it's just a matter of coming through these and adding the staff. So very flexible, and these walking performers will do their own thing, and so we can have entertainers as well, and they will just follow along behind the float. And it really adds, I guess, that sort of, not quite a marching band, but that sort of vibe, I guess, of a progression, and maybe, you know, a series of dances and whatnot. And so when we now run this parade, let's have a look. So they're going to come out, and there's an interval here of 20 seconds. So if I just reduce that to 0, let's see what happens. I might need to restart it, but it should, as soon as that one comes out, slight pause, and then they'll carry on. Yep, they're coming on out too. So timing the train intervals is really good, and because we can attach things to these float trains, we can do all sorts of tricks as well by hiding the parade underground and doing whatever we might like. But there's a lot of flexibility in the setup, I guess, of trains and performers. Okay, so with our parade template, we've got a train ready. We need to decorate it, of course. So if I come into the trains, you'll notice again there are the different types: large, the bridge float, and the small float. So I'm going to go to large. And under the entertainment tab, you've got these 3 bases. So the large one fits the large base, obviously. And you can just line it up and then use the shift key to get it down and place it and attach it. But if you want, you can also use these beautiful blueprints. So this is fantastic. They've done one in all the major themes. So we've got the sandy beach resort vibe here, and we can attach it to the parade. And once it's attached, I can just bring it down. And it's as simple as that. It'll now take the path of the parade as it carries on. And we've got a little entertainers who walk alongside, and that's a complete train. So they've also created these beautiful spaces for entertainers. And while we have the included walking parade points, we also have this ability to place our own performer platforms. And so I can attach it to the parade and place an entertainer anywhere I like. And so I'm using the Z key here to rotate it. And if you look at the little point, it's got a little arrow showing which direction it needs to go. And we can just bury that down ever so slightly. And we can put these guys anywhere we like. So I might come in here and just bury him in the car. And once that's done, we can come back to the performer tab and change who is who. So if I click on this guy, I can change him to, say, I don't know, Chief Beef. He can be driving the car at the front. And when we now run this parade, we've got these entertainers included. So the other thing we can do with performer points is change their behavior. And so we've got wave and idle and miserable. So you can do some pretty fun things with these. And content or happy. He's really carrying on. So I think we'll just make him go to wave. And Queen Splash here will make her happy. So let's add another float. I've got a train set up here as a bridge float, because in the blueprints here we have this lovely splash float that we can attach. Now I'll just attach it. Let's see what I'm doing. Use the shift key to get it about where we want it. You can also come in, select it, and use the advanced move to get it just right. Obviously, we've got a key position here for a entertainer. Let me just turn this right off, and we can move this bubble out the way for now and get another one of our entertainer points. So we'll just place that like so. And I can bring my bubble back now. Just get back out. Touch scenery. And a little side note, I love this bubble piece, but they didn't give us the ability to change its transparency. So what you can actually do is just duplicate it a few times to increase the opacity if you want to do such a thing, because like the glass pieces, we've got more control. But anyway, side note. So I'll take there and we'll just change that back to clear. Something like so. And with that performer point attachment, I can come in here and make it Queen Splash or whoever else it needs to be. So I'm going to add one more parade float just to give you the idea of what we can do here in terms of starting from scratch. So I will come into the entertainment tab and have a look at parades. We use a standard base. Like so. And what you can do is then use these walkable platforms. So if I just put that down like so, you can have your little guy marching up and down on your parade float. And again, these can be placed pretty much anywhere you like, and it gives you the full control to even animate these platforms. So by combining them with the moving platform that I have here, something like so, you can place your entertainer platforms on top. So let's just have a look here. And we can put that, say, down like so. And Gulpy will spin as per that rotating platform while he waves. It sort of looks like he's pivoting on his legs. And yeah, as you come up and decorate this, the sky is absolutely the limit. And we can throw in some special effects and all sorts of different animatronics. You're not limited to just the entertainers, obviously, so you can throw this confetti cannon on the front, and rather having it shoot out all the time, you can either tell it to play every 10 seconds, or you can have the ride itself trigger it. So if I come into the ride, we have the ability to trigger sequences. So I can place a trigger like so. You only need that one. So coming in, create a trigger sequence, and I can either create a very complex animation, or I can attach that little cannon to fire when the parade hits that spot. So you have so many options for timing and music and whatever else. So let's have a look. As this float hits that trigger point, it should shoot the cannon. There it goes. One last thing to note as well in terms of that interactivity is the vista points, or the event points, that come with the game in update 10. So this is a free edition, and you could put a entertainment point like so. And what this does is when a guest comes up and presses the button, we can set the focus of where they should be looking. So we can make it this parade here, or the cannon. And we can also get this to trigger the confetti. So as it comes past, they might press it and then it will shoot the cannon. And so you'd position these in the way that makes the most sense. But yeah, it's going to mean guests can actually interact with what's happening on the parade, not just off the parade. So yeah, a really interesting little addition there. I'm going to take us through quickly these other options in the parade. So you have scheduling. You can either set it to times per day, so that'll basically do an even split, I think, between the opening hours. Or you can do a actual, defined time. So you can say 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and actually to the minute change this. And I think you can have as many of these as you'd like, so the parade can just run at your scheduling. And when it's playing, you have the option to run the parade now, so you can always just click it if you happen to be in your park wanting to see it run. We can set things like music, and you can add speakers, and these can be triggered as well based on the scheduling triggers that we've shown. The parade itself will cost you money to run. It's going to be dependent on how many performers there are and attendance, and this will add up obviously if you're running non-sandbox. You got your testing data, you can see the length of the track, the speed, everything standard. The prestige for the parade is still a factor for our casual players, and the maintenance needs to be repaired and refurbished like all of our rides. In here we can obviously customize some of the core colors from the little parade floats and all that stuff, and the track as well can be colored, I believe. So yeah, you're gonna have red track if you want such a thing. It's possible. There's two elements. Green is the little staff box, so we can tailor that too. And finally, you can save it and create a blueprint of the whole thing. And actually on that, if we come into the blueprints for parades, let's clear out this, there is the parade starter, which has all the things ready to roll. And they have one in loop format too, with all of the items. So that makes it really easy if you want to create a parade with everything ready to go, and you can come in and customize these or do something completely from scratch. So I'm going to now show you how to create a main street using the inbuilt blueprints. So the filter I'm going to select is the Contact Pack Parades Pack. Let's have a look at this. Wonderful pieces, these wrought iron pieces, all sorts of really nice lighting and metal options that you can control, colorize and everything else. Create some interesting bridges, but the buildings that they've given just make it so easy. I know a lot of people are intimidated by creating buildings, and you know, it does take a lot of time and care, and if you've got that patience, you're going to have a great time. But if you want to very rapidly build a main street that looks half decent, this is a really good option. So you can place down all of these buildings very quickly. So yeah, just in 5 minutes we've been able to create a really nice main street using these blueprints. And just have a look at some of the pieces that we get in this pack. These beautiful lights, all the wrought iron, some new windows, and definitely some nice wall sets that I'm sure the Bro Nation gang are going to go nuts with, creating really lovely buildings and all the awnings to go with it. So if you can do that in 5 minutes with some blueprints, imagine what you can do with a couple of weeks and some patience. It's going to be exciting. I've disconnected the path here, and I wanted to show you that the included sidewalk can be manipulated, so we can move this around, but you can't manipulate the actual track path. So if you do create that and you want to remove it, you can. Alternatively, you can just lay your path down first and then put the ride on top without any sidewalk. That'll work. And I've just put in a little memento shop just to experiment with, and that will allow them to buy these new little flags and things. So now that the ride is ready to go and you need to attach your staff gate, which I've done, and we can run it and press play to make it happen immediately, right? So down it comes, and you can see all the little guests getting excited and they start to line up. And the more people you have in the park, the more vibrant this looks, because you have, you know, thousands of guests all lining up. It looks really good. But I really love how they went to the effort of creating these flags that they wave and join in as the parade goes by. So a really good touch there, and just adds to the realism. But they will wait till the floats go past, and once the final one has gone through, they'll continue to walk on, and they'll be able to resume their day-to-day. So that's really nice as well. It doesn't wait for the whole parade to finish. It's like as soon as there's space behind the parade, they carry on with their day-to-day business, which is really cool. So I guess just some closing thoughts on the parade. I think it's been brilliantly implemented. The fact that we can animate our little characters on top of the parades and add all our animatronics, there's going to be a lot of creative ideas flowing for sure. And yeah, I probably would have liked to seen the path to be able to be a little bit narrower. It does sort of limit us to have these wide parade areas, but you know, I guess that's fairly realistic. And we can also bury the parade under the ground to create, you know, some trickery by having floats go above. That would mean foregoing some of our walking entertainers that walk alongside, but yeah, it might be a sacrifice if you're trying to do something unique. In my hacks video, I actually buried it really deep and had a character floating by with balloons using the path of the parade, and also did a little strike with all these entertainers holding up strike signs. So if you haven't seen my hack video, go check that one out too. And oh, one last thing. Yes, someone asked, could you make a float in the water? And yeah, absolutely you can. So I'm going to create a parade real quick, and let's say you've got a station over here. We can use the track to go under the water. And so if you wanted to have a boat progression go through the sea or whatever it is you're doing, you could do a really nice water-based ride. In fact, you could probably just have a loop and have a little boat going around with entertainers on it to make it look like it's come to life. So if I just, I'll just stop it there, and we'll use the, let's see, the blueprint ride. Let's choose the crab here because I think that's an appropriate one, isn't it? And we'll attach that to the parade, and I'll just shift it up a bit. So when this is playing, let's have a look. The boat, you hide this through like a little watershed or something, the parade can come out onto the water and do its thing. And I think, as I said, we should be able to create entertainment points, or no, performer points is what I'm trying to think of, and put them on top. So let's have a look. So add that there. Yeah. So now Queen Splash is commanding her little submarine out on the water. So there you go. What a great pack. I haven't even touched on all of the scenery that's available. You've got all this glow up scenery. All these elements can be animated. Wow, there's just so much to see. Nice little bronze roses. I'm sure some of my colleague or YouTube friends are going to be covering all of that in express detail. You've got hundreds of pieces, and you've also got the scenery from the small town section. So content packs, parades pack. Yeah, under the scenery items, there's a lot of building materials as well. So you've got all of these lovely pieces that I just, there's so much. there's too much, to be honest, as well as some little dudes with sticks up their butts, as they do, to add to your barbershop quartet down your main street. Yeah, anyway, I could go on and this video would go on, but that's all for now. Hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial on how to create your own parades. We're only just beginning. I can't wait to see what you come up with. If you've got any questions about how it works, or you want me to try something while you wait to get your hands on this, let me know in the comments. And as always, please give the video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out. Thanks everyone, enjoy your day, and I'll see you on the other side of launch. Bye!